You can do marketing, but how do you do it effectively, sustainably, and with real impact? In a chaotic world flooded with advertisements and ever-changing trends, only those who grasp core strategy can stand out, persuade, and thrive. This video reveals 4 indispensable marketing principles, from aligning the market, message, media, to adopting a preeminent strategy that builds trust, from crafting unique, inimitable differentiation to optimizing with the 80-20 principle. This is not about quick tips. This is about mental leverage. And now, let's embark on the journey to elevate your marketing strategy from foundational principles to influential heights. Principle 1: Alignment. Alignment is the foundational principle in every successful marketing strategy. It's not as flashy as viral campaigns or cutting-edge AI tools, but it is the deciding factor in whether a strategy is profitable. Alignment is built upon 3 pillars: target market, message, and media platform. When these 3 elements are precisely connected, a business not only delivers the right message to the right people at the right time, but also powerfully drives consumer action. The market is the starting point. If you don't know who you're targeting, you're lost from the very beginning. Identifying your target customer cannot be vague. You need to build an ideal customer avatar, ICA, with 3 layers of information: demographics, age, gender, income; psychographics, beliefs, emotions, internal conflicts; and behavioral data, which channels they use, how they buy. The more detailed the description, the easier it is to empathize, and thus persuade. That is the foundation of every strong message. Once you understand your market, you move on to the message. This is the soul of your marketing campaign. A good message isn't just well written, it speaks the customer's heart. To do this, use the miracles and miseries tool, deeply understanding your customer's pains, miseries, and dreams. Miracles. An effective message must connect the starting point, pain, with the desired outcome, dream, using your product or service as the bridge to the solution. It's not enough to just write a message. You need to tier them. For customers who are ready to buy, use a hard offer like "sign up today for a special deal." For hesitant prospects, use a soft offer, such as a free guide, tutorial video, or trial version. Soft offers provide safety, allowing customers to take a small step without pressure. With these 2 message layers in parallel, you can both close deals effectively and nurture long-term leads. Now to the 3rd element, media platforms. This is where many go wrong. They start by choosing the hot channel, instead of looking at where their customers actually are. If your target is office workers, they're not spending 2 hours a day on TikTok. If they're business owners, they might be watching YouTube or checking emails at 5 a.m. Choosing the wrong platform makes even the best message meaningless. You can't talk to the right people if you're standing on the wrong stage. Imagine a loudspeaker. You have a great voice, message, and you know who needs to hear it, market. But if you broadcast in an empty room, wrong media, no one will hear you. The lesson: don't show up everywhere. Only show up where your customers truly pay attention. Marketing power isn't in broad presence, but in precise presence. That's how small but smart brands can outperform competitors with massive budgets. Alignment isn't just about choosing the right platform and crafting the right message. It's also about connecting all elements into a measurable system. With alignment, you can easily answer questions like, why am I using this platform? Why am I writing this message? What result am I aiming for? Without alignment, you're doing marketing on instinct. But with strategic alignment, everything you do has a clear purpose, optimizing every small action toward a larger goal. No one wins by doing more. Winners are those who do it right. And alignment helps you get it right from the very first step. Instead of throwing money at ads, you can use that same budget to create a campaign with 10x the ROI, if everything is tightly integrated. Marketing then stops being a gamble and becomes a logical equation with a clear solution. You measure, refine, and replicate what works. That's the leverage to break through in an increasingly competitive market. Don't forget, alignment doesn't just impact customers, it also influences the entire organization. When your marketing, sales, and customer service teams all understand the market and deliver a unified message across the same platform, you create a seamless, consistent customer experience. That builds trust. And trust, not cheap prices or fancy products, is the deeper reason customers return and refer you to others. Finally, remember, alignment isn't optional, it's essential. The market does not forgive inconsistency. Every campaign, every message, every post is a chance to reinforce or dilute your brand image. So before you run your next ad, stop and ask, is my market clear? Is my message correct? Is my media on point? If the answer is not sure, redo it. Because when you connect all three elements, you're no longer marketing, you're leading. Principle 2, preeminence. Preeminence is not just a marketing approach, it is a philosophy. A philosophy that puts the customer first, not because you want to close a sale, but because you genuinely want to help them make the right decision. When you become a trusted advisor in the eyes of your customer, you no longer need to push for sales. They will buy because they feel guided, not manipulated. And when they buy from you, they aren't just purchasing a product. They are choosing a long-term relationship built on solid trust. This strategy originates from a mindset of service. Not how do I close the deal, but how do I help the customer make better decisions? Imagine yourself as a friend who understands the industry better than the customer. Your job isn't to push products, it's to enlighten. Share honestly what you would do if you were in their position. Giving advice from a non-selfish point of view is one of the most powerful weapons to build credibility. Once a customer feels you are acting for their benefit, they will always return. The preeminence strategy requires you to shift from selling to educating the market. Instead of just promoting, you give knowledge. An article, a video, a guide, if it helps the customer better understand their problem and the right solution, you've planted the seed of trust. When you teach them something they didn't know, you position yourself as an expert. And when people see you as an expert, they will listen to you, follow you, and buy from you. No gimmicks needed, just real value. Educational marketing isn't hard nor expensive. You don't need $1 million studio. As long as you have something useful to share, share it. It could be a short video on your phone, a PDF you've used internally, or an email explaining a crucial concept. What matters is sincerity. Customers aren't looking for perfection. They're looking for someone who understands them. Consistent, honest sharing will transform you from a stranger into a guide they can't look away from. When you live out this strategy authentically, you begin to create a timeless distinction. Competitors can copy your products, your ads, even your pricing, but they can't copy the heart you put into serving your customers. Sincere service is an irreplaceable asset. It turns your brand into a symbol. It turns customers into advocates. And the more value you give before the sale, the easier conversions become. Because customers no longer need to be convinced. They're already ready. Another strength of the preeminent strategy is its sustainability. Ad campaigns will end. Discounts will expire. But relationships built on trust will continue. They grow with every interaction. You no longer depend on a massive ad budget. You rely on trust that has been planted and nurtured. And once trust takes the lead, you generate loyal customers, not just one-time buyers. Loyalty is the most sustainable profit machine. In short, preeminence is not just a technique. It's a transformation in the way you think about marketing. From asking, how do I get the customer to buy, to how can the customer become better because of me? From seeing customers as numbers to seeing them as people. When you embrace this mindset, you'll discover something amazing. People will trust you, buy from you, and return to you. Not because you're clever, but because you're genuine. And in today's noisy world, authenticity is priceless. Principle 3, differentiation. Differentiation is not optional. In a market full of competition, it is a condition for survival. If you're not different, you're forgettable. And if you're forgettable, you'll be ignored. Differentiation doesn't have to be eccentric, but it must be meaningful. It must create a feeling that says, only you can offer this. When customers can't distinguish you from competitors, they'll choose the cheaper or faster option. But when you become unique, price is no longer a barrier. It becomes a value story. Differentiation begins with understanding yourself. What makes you better than others? Is it your process, your personal experience, your communication style, the way you listen? Don't look for differentiation in a meeting room. Find it in your customers' thank you notes, in genuine feedback, in the things they often say. I like you because. These are clues to the unique value you bring. Turn them into a declaration. That is the foundation of your USP, unique selling proposition. A USP is not a slogan. It is a promise you make to the market. It must be clear, specific, and verifiable. We offer better service is not a USP. We deliver within 2 hours or your money back. Now that's a USP. Focus on the intersection of two things. 1, what customers truly care about, and 2, what you do better than anyone else. That intersection is a gold mine. When you discover it, you step out of the price war and into a space that cannot be replaced. Differentiation doesn't have to lie in the product. It can lie in how you tell your brand's story. Remember, people don't just buy what you sell, they buy why you exist. A brand story evokes emotion. It turns lifeless products into part of someone's identity. Apple doesn't sell phones, they sell a mindset of creativity and innovation. Patagonia doesn't just sell outdoor gear, they sell environmental responsibility. When you convey your mission, you're not just selling, you're inspiring. Another strategy is to carve your own niche. Step off the crowded highway and build your own path. You might not be the best in a large market, but you can be the only one in a small, well-defined market that's underserved. A niche helps you stand out, connect, and dominate more easily. But remember, a niche must have demand. Don't serve a market no one needs just because it seems novel. Creativity must have focus. The clearer the segmentation, the sharper the differentiation. It must be emphasized, differentiation only has value if customers recognize and appreciate it. Many businesses believe they're unique, but fail to communicate that. They leave customers to guess. That's a mistake. Be proactive in making your uniqueness clear. Put it in your headline, slogan, pitch, website content, and sales process. Your differentiation must be repeated, emphasized, and consistent at every touch point. That way, you're not just different towards you. You make your difference unforgettable. Finally, differentiation is not a destination. It is a continuous journey. Because markets change, competitors change, customers change too. Today you're the leader, tomorrow someone might imitate you. Always refresh yourself. Don't be afraid to experiment, innovate, and break through. But remember, differentiation isn't about shock value. It must serve the purpose of solving real customer problems. When your differentiation is aligned with customer value, you don't just attract them, you keep them. Principle 4, the 80-20 principle in marketing. The 80-20 principle, also known as the Pareto rule, states that 80% of results come from 20% of efforts. In marketing, this isn't just a theory, it's an undeniable truth. When you review your campaigns, you'll find only a small portion of customers generate most of your revenue. Only a few content pieces create most of the engagement. Only a few distribution channels deliver the majority of conversions. The magic is that when you master this principle, you can do less and achieve more. The first step is analysis. You need to review your entire marketing system. Customer segments, advertising channels, content campaigns, emails, search keywords. Identify which 20% of factors generate 80% of results. Even within your loyal customer base, a small group may be contributing the majority of revenue. Once you identify this group, you can allocate more resources to serve them better, instead of wasting time and budget on customers who don't provide long-term value. This is how marketing becomes smarter. Don't stop after the first round of analysis. The 80-20 principle becomes even more powerful when you dig deeper. Apply 80-20 again to the top 20% just identified. In other words, within your most effective segment, find the absolute core. This is how you reach super customers, super content, super channels. These elements not only bring high revenue, but also spark word-of-mouth loops, where customers willingly spread your brand. You don't need endless expansion, just depth in the right direction. This principle also applies powerfully to how you manage your own time and tasks. Only a small portion of what you do each day brings real value. Pointless meetings, aimless data checks, and habitual email replies, they drain your energy but create no results. Be bold enough to eliminate them. Dedicate your time to creating campaigns, optimizing effective content, and nurturing high-value customers. That's how you take control of your time through strategic thinking. Budget optimization is another area where the 80-20 rule excels. You don't need to spend broadly. Look closely at your advertising campaigns. It's likely 80% of your budget is being wasted on groups that don't convert. If you reallocate to the 20% that actually works, you not only cut costs, but also boost ROI. This isn't just about reducing losses. It's a strategy to increase profit using existing resources. That's why 80-20 is one of the most applied principles in fast-growing companies. In summary, 80-20 is not just a formula, it's a mindset. It forces you to confront the truth. Most of what you're doing may be useless, but it also gives you hope. If you master the most effective part, you can still break through. Marketing isn't a game of volume, it's a game of refinement, focus, and optimization. When you fully apply this principle, you no longer chase the market, you create it. The 4 marketing principles, alignment, preeminence, differentiation, and the 80-20 principle, are not just tools. They are the foundation of strategic thinking. When you apply them flexibly, deeply, and with discipline, you don't just optimize campaigns, you build an enduring brand. At that point, marketing is no longer a short-term race to close deals, but a sustainable journey to create influence. Start with one principle, do it well, then expand. Success is the result of right thinking. Thank you for watching the whole video. Please like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos.